I can pause that. Welcome, everyone. Hello, and thank you for joining us for an inspiring session on the latest updates in the credentialing. And this session is hosted by ICF Toronto chapter and will be presented by Aileen Gordon, the Director of Operations and Customer Success with ICF Global. So welcome everyone. My name is Hiba and I'm the Director of Accreditation and Professional Growth. I'll be your host for today. Hi, Abby. I see some familiar faces as well.
Hi, Hiba, and thank you, Eileen, and thanks everyone for joining us today.
Abby is our president and she's our backbone.
Thank you, Hiba.
Welcome, everyone. So, to get us started, I'd like to invite you to type in the chat, where are you calling from, and which ICF chapter are you affiliated with? So let's see. I'm admitting people. Recording is okay. Yeah. Let me see. Toronto, welcome. Tracy, Nicole from NY chapter. New York chapter, welcome, Lori. Toronto, Vermont, New England. Yay. Monica, CT from New England, Boston. Yeah, we had more than 100 registration for today's session, so many people have questions. New York, Dan, welcome. Yeah, let's give it a minute or two for people to settle in. Carla, welcome. Windsor, hi. Boston. Salut, Isabelle. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Massachusetts, welcome. Yeah, as people are joining us and admitting more people, let me share with you what to expect in today's session. Hi, Candy. So in today's session, Aileen will be sharing with us how the new changes with the ICF credentialing will be streamlining the application process for ACC and PCC credentials and simplifying the renewal process for all credential holders. So the session will also highlight the updated ICF core competencies released on September 8 and introduce an exciting opportunity for PCC and MCC candidates to participate in a pilot for a new version of the ICF credentialing exam. In today's session, you will get the chance to ask questions, but we will take your questions at the end of the presentation. So I'd like to start with inviting you to reflect on the land acknowledgement that is relevant to you. And this is the land acknowledgement relevant for ICF Toronto chapter. We acknowledge the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, and the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people. These territories are the enduring home to many First Nation, Inuit, and Métis peoples across Turtle Land Island. We also acknowledge that we are hosted on unceded land covered by Treaty 13, held by the Mississaugas of the Credit. Toronto is subject to the Dish with One Spoon Covenant, which bound the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee people to peacefully share and protect the lands of the Great Lakes. In the spirit of this covenant, we are grateful to be able to meet, create, and grow in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect on this ancestral land. So for best experience today, I'd like to ask you to keep your audio muted, please, and unmute yourself only when you need to speak during the Q&A. Keep the video on if possible. The chat will be open for you throughout the session for your comments, for your questions, and you may use the React button especially whenever you want to raise your hands to ask your question, and we're going to call on you. The caption are active for you, and we will be recording this session. The recording will be shared with you after the session, and it will be included inside the credentialing webinar series. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Aileen Gordon. Aileen joined ICF in May 2020 with credentials and standards as credentialing support coordinator. In 2023, she accepted the position of credentials and standards director of operations. This role oversees the credentialing team and the processing of credential applications. Aileen has 25 plus years working in nonprofit associations, which has given her valuable experience with the administration of volunteer-driven organizations. Aileen lives in Georgetown, Kentucky. So I'll turn it over to you, Aileen. I'll stop sharing my screen. Great.
Well, thank you very much for having me and for the opportunity to record this. And just for clarity's sake, we will be recording it and posting it to the credentialing webinar series for others to look at. But we will only be doing the presentation portion. The Q&A will not be included. So when we get to the Q&A section, feel free to ask any questions that you have. In addition, along with the recording, I'll also be sending, if you guys want to distribute out, a PDF of today's presentation. It does contain a lot of links to specific pages with additional information on the different topics that we're going to be touching on. So please know that that resource will be available to you as well. And let me go ahead and get set up and start to share my screen. Okay, bring this down. Okay. All right, so welcome to this presentation on the recent and upcoming changes in credentialing and standards and within ICF. The goals for this webinar are specifically to provide you with the changes coming to simplify the ACC and PCC application pathways and the renewal process for a credential. It is important to note that the requirements to apply for a credential or to renew a credential are not changing. Just the process around applying and submitting are being affected by these changes. We will also touch base on a couple other updates to the ICF core competencies and the minimum skills requirement. Let's begin by looking at the changes coming to the ACC and PCC application pathways coming November 3rd. In 1995, ICF was created by a community of coaches dedicated to establishing coaching as a recognized profession around the world. Over the last 30 years, we've grown our programs to fulfill that goal. One way was through creating standards for individuals to obtain a coaching credential. To support those seeking a credential, multiple application paths were created. All paths required the same requirements to be met, but how they were met was dependent on the accreditation type of the education program completed. In 2021, ICF Coaching Education introduced the current level accreditations for programs. These provided for a program accreditation that was in line with the ACC credential requirements, which had not been available before. So now in 2025, we've seen a shift in the credentialing application being used to obtain the ACC and the PCC. The current three pathways that had been useful to support applicants previously is now a source of confusion as individuals look into becoming credentialed. To address this issue, we are streamlining the application pathway options at the ACC and PCC levels. Starting November 3rd, the ACSDH application will be consolidated into the portfolio application. This will provide two clear pathways for each level, similar to what's currently available at the MCC level. For ACC applicants, the Level 1, Level 2 path will be used for those who've completed a full ICF accredited Level 1 or level 2 program. Please note, previously completed ACTP programs are still accepted in this application as they contain the same requirements as the level 2 program. The portfolio path is for anyone with 60 or more hours of coaching education completed through any other program or combination of programs. For PCC applicants, the level 2 path is for those completed an accredited level 2 program in full. And again, previous ACTP program completions will continue to be accepted in this application. The portfolio path is for applicants with 125 or more hours of coaching education completed through any other program or combination of programs. It combines the previous level 1 ACSTH path and the portfolio path. Let's take a deeper look at each new pathway at the ACC and PCC level coming November 3rd. Here you can see outlined clearly that in order to apply with the ACC Level 1, Level 2 application, you will need to have completed in full, including the mentor coaching and performance evaluation, an ICF accredited Level 1 or Level 2, which was previously known as ACTP. If you complete part of any of those programs and or use any other program or combination of programs to reach the 60 hours of education, you will need to apply through the ACC portfolio application. In this application, you will need to include your mentor coaching information and upload a recorded coaching session for evaluation. Likewise, for the PCC, in order to apply with the Level 2 application, you will need to have completed in full, including the mentor coaching and the performance evaluation, an ICF accredited Level 2 program, previously known as ACTP program. If you completed part of any of those programs and or used any other program or combination of programs to reach the 125 hours of education, you will apply through the PCC portfolio application. In this application, you will need to include your mentor coaching information and upload 2 recorded coaching sessions for evaluation. Let's turn our attention now to the credentialing renewal process, which also has changes coming November 3rd. Before we dive into the changes coming to the credentialing renewal process, it is important to emphasize that the continuing coach education requirements to renew a credential are not changing. What is changing is around the submission of those requirements. Taking effect on November 3rd, we are moving to routine credentialing renewal application audit process. As part of our ongoing commitment to quality and fairness, we will randomly select a percentage of renewal applicants for audit. This routine review ensures consistency across all credential holders. All applicants will report their CCE activities, and all CCE activities entered will be reviewed. However, while all applicants will still have the ability to upload their documents for their continuing education credits, only those selected for audit will be required to do so. If you are selected for an audit, you will get an email with instructions to upload your documents. For credential holders, this means no more last-minute hunting for the program certificate you completed 3 years ago in order to submit your application to get it into the review process. In addition, we're simplifying the renewal process for lapsed credentials. Starting November 3rd, if a renewal application is submitted after its 2-month grace period and within 1 year after the expiration date, applicants will no longer need to calculate or submit extra CCE credits per each month lapsed. Instead, a $100 US dollar late fee will apply. This is in addition to the standard renewal fee. As stated before, the requirements to renew are not changing. As a reminder, let's take a quick look at the CCE requirements for each credential. At the ACC level, 40 CCE credits are needed to renew. Of the 40 CCEs, 24 are required to be in core competency, and the remaining 16 may be in additional core competency credits or in resource development. Of the 24 in core competencies, 3 CCEs must be in ethics and 10 hours in mentor coaching, and the remaining 11 can come from other activities based in the core competencies. At the PCC and MCC levels, 40 CCE credits are needed to renew the credential as well. As with the ACC, of the 40 CCEs, 24 are required to be in core competency, and the remaining 16 may be in additional core competency credits or in resource development. Of the 24 in core competency credits required, 3 must be in ethics, and the remaining 21 may come from any other activities based in the core competencies. And for the ACTC, 20 CCE credits are needed to renew the credential. 16 are required to be in team coaching, and the remaining 4 may be in additional core competency credits or in resource development. In the first part of September, updates to the ICF core competencies were released. Coaching is an evolving profession, and ICF is dedicated to maintaining the standards that serve as the foundation for coaching everywhere. Every 5 to 7 years, ICF takes an evidence-based approach to update the core competencies. Over the last 18 months, ICF has been completing an updated coaching job task analysis. This allows us to keep up with any changes in the coaching profession and ensure that our ICF certifications are testing the skill, knowledge, and attributes required by effective coaching practitioners working in the field. Part of this process involved an open survey to any and all coaches across the globe, regardless of if they held an ICF credential or not, to gather the current skills needed to be a coach in today's world. If you recall completing a very long survey about what you do as a coach, then you are just one of the coaches that contributed to shaping these updated competencies. The updated core competencies were publicly released in early September. The last updates to the competencies were in 2019 and involved a major update to the competency model, as they had not previously gone through a review process since being launched. The update this year had minor updates and a few new additions to the sub-competencies. You can find the 2025 core competencies in the resource section of the website, along with the previous version. You will also be able to access a comparison chart to clearly see where the updates have occurred. Currently in development and to be released soon are translations of the updated core competencies in various languages and a video series diving deeper into the competencies. The ICF core competencies are the foundational coaching skills we look for every coach to be demonstrating in their coaching. Therefore, additional updates are going to be needed. This includes the ICF exams. The exams will be refreshed in 2026. The minimum skills requirements that provide additional depth on how core competencies may be demonstrated at each level will be released in the very near future. As mentioned on the previous slide, the ICF credentialing exams will be updated next year. The updated exams will incorporate updates to the ICF Code of Ethics released in March of this year and the newly released ICF core competencies. As with the core competencies, ICF is dedicated to keeping our written exams for a credential up to date. With that in mind, PCC and MCC candidates will have the opportunity beginning in November to participate in a pilot version of the ICF credentialing exam. The ACC exam refresh will begin in 2026. The pilot exam is open to those applying for a PCC or MCC and have been authorized to take the exam. The exam pilot will be based on the 2025 Code of Ethics and core competencies. In addition, it will also be pilot testing a new format of the exam. The pilot exam will be a mix of situational judgment items and multiple choice questions. The pilot exam will be available to be taken on November 17th and will remain open until we reach the needed number of completed exams, which should be around 300 or so. If you have a PCC or MCC application in progress or plan to submit in the very near future, you may become eligible to participate in this pilot. Volunteers for the pilot are a vital part to developing a sound exam, and we greatly appreciate those who are willing and able to participate. I hope the updates we've covered today demonstrate to you ICF's commitment to the coaching industry and individual coaches. I'd like to take a moment and look at the other opportunities open to you to continue growing as a coach and have that growth recognized. Renewing a credential demonstrates your commitment to the field to which you have dedicated yourself. While professional development is a requirement to maintain a credential, it should be in areas that encourage your growth, increase your effectiveness, and support your personal and professional interests. Professional development is the ongoing process of acquiring new skills and knowledge and experiences. The goal is to help professionals stay current with trends in their field and support long-term career success. It encompasses a diverse range of activities designed to enhance skills and expand knowledge. Participation in professional development provides you with the opportunity to enhance existing skills or learn new skills and competencies, build confidence as you cement your current knowledge and skills, meet new people, naturally expanding your network, support lifelong learning, development, and growth throughout your coaching journey, grow as a coach and expand your network, leading to new opportunities for you to explore, and actively learn and apply new skills, demonstrating to your clients your commitment to coaching as a profession and to yourself as a coach. To help you determine what professional development you want to participate in, ICF has categorized various activities that can earn you CCE credits towards your next renewal. ICF is dedicated to recognizing the continuous learning coaches participate in through various educational and experience activities by providing CCE credits when coaches elevate their own coaching knowledge, skills, and capacity. This includes things like taking a program or a course, engaging in reading, participating in events and webinars, or participating in reflective practices, or advancing the coaching profession, such as teaching, publishing coaching content, delivering mentoring or supervision, or serving on an ICF Global or chapter board, or participating as a subject matter expert in an ICF project. Expand the social impact coaching can have in the world. You may now earn CCE credits for participating in an ICF Foundation project or initiative. If you find that you're ready to upgrade your credential from ACC to PCC or PCC to MCC, you will apply for the new credential level in full, whenever you are ready. You do not need to wait for your current renewal to draw near. You will use the application that's appropriate for the education you'll be using to apply for the new credential. You will upload and enter in all information and documents to demonstrate that you now meet the requirements for the new credential. This may include education and experience hours that you used towards your current credential. And for the MCC, you must obtain another round of mentoring with an MCC. This round of mentoring cannot have been used previously towards your ACC or PCC. If you're working as a team coach, you may want to consider pursuing the ICF Advanced Certification in Team Coaching, or the ACTC. The ACTC is a specialized certification designed for experienced coaches who want to showcase their expertise in working with teams. It builds on your existing credential and validates that you have the advanced set of skills needed to coach teams. To qualify, along with your existing credential, you'll need at least 60 hours of team coaching education, plus hands-on experience coaching teams. In addition, you'll need to receive coaching supervision from an experienced supervisor and pass the team coaching certification exam. The ACTC is a great next step in your coaching practice. It not only deepens your expertise, but also boosts your credibility with organizational clients who are looking for coaches who understand the complexity of team dynamics. Whether or not you decide to pursue an ACTC or not, ICF offers some valuable resources for team coaches. First, we have the communities of practice. This includes team and group coaching, as well as executive and leadership coaching and internal coaching. These communities provide a platform for sharing insights, experiences, and best practices. In addition, the ICF Coaching and Organizations page holds links to a variety of resources, including research and case studies that may be of interest to you. And hot off the presses, just yesterday, the ICF Coachbox was released for pre-orders. It will be released in October during Converge. This is a coaching body of knowledge publication serving as a comprehensive professional development companion throughout your entire coaching journey. This definitive reference guide offers a continuous learning framework for the global coaching community that evolves with the profession. This body of knowledge also provides the foundation for study systems to be created for the ACC exam and the ICF Credentialing exam. The study system includes a pretest, reading modules, practice quizzes, and a practice exam. It is important to note that the study systems were created independently from ICF credentials and standards. This is to maintain the integrity and validity of the exams. The exams are created in a manner that no one study aid or resource can guarantee a passing score. And let's take a quick look at some other resources that ICF has as a whole to offer to coaches that you may or may not know about. We have the communities of practice that also include ethics, life vision and enhancement, health and wellness, coaching science. In addition, there's the ICF Engage platform, which is for members as a community, and you can have different forums that you can get involved in particular around those communities of practice. In addition, the ICF Learning Portal is where we host different webinars that are put on by the communities of practice throughout the year. And of course, we have some ICF events that you can attend. But in addition, what you might not be as familiar with is the ICF research. We have obviously a deep commitment to research in ICF, so your different studies are available there. But we also do academic research and support academic research. So if you are looking to do some research on coaching, you can check them out. If you would like to serve on a panel of coaches that researchers might want to solicit, you can volunteer to do that as well. And then there's a research portal where you can find a huge source of different materials that you can use in your own research. It offers cross-referencing as well. So it is a really unique and deep resource if you are interested in research. There's also coaching and technology. This is an area, obviously, that is evolving rapidly, and ICF is dedicated to staying abreast of those changes. And so you can certainly check out that page and keep abreast of what's happening there. In addition, there's the ICF Thought Leadership. This is an area that's dedicated to really thinking about the future of the world, the future of coaching, and the role that we play in the world. It also offers a global digital library, a wonderful resource as well. Suggest that you take a look at that if you haven't done so already. In addition, the ICF Foundation is doing a lot of interesting and good work. If you have not checked out the foundation and the different projects and initiatives they have going on, take a look at that and see if there's something that you might want to get involved in. So we covered a lot of information and changes that are coming, changes that have recently, or updates that have recently been released. So if you find that you need any sort of support or have questions, feel free to reach out to ICF support through the Contact Us page, which can be found in the footer of any of our website pages. On this page at the bottom is a form where you can submit any question or request for support in any area of ICF, including credentialing. We also have a knowledge base where you can find various FAQs in credentialing and in other areas of ICF. In addition, ICF credentials and standards staff are available to answer questions in live Q&A calls. We have some upcoming calls. The next one will be October 1st and will be dedicated to the renewal process, and November 5th, which will be open to any credentialing questions you may have. Now that we've covered this range of updates and changes, and before you have to dive into those support pages, what questions can I answer for you today?
First, thank you, Aileen, for sharing your knowledge and expertise. We learned a lot. And the highlights is the coach book, I guess, for everyone. So I'll start with what I have in the chat.
Great.
First question from Muhammad. Does that mean PCC now needs only 125 hours?
The PCC has only ever needed 125 hours of education. So that has not changed.
Yeah. Robert is asking, what if the 1 year period has expired? I guess this is the lapse renewal.
Okay, so if your credential becomes fully expired, which is 1 year after your expiration date, then in order to reinstate it, you need to reapply for your credential or for the next one up if you're ready for that.
For Mark, we have a question. Does group supervision count towards the 10-hour mentor coach requirement for renewal?
It does not. There is a difference between mentor coaching and coaching supervision. Mentor coaching is narrowly focused on your coaching skills as they relate to the core competencies, which is why it's a requirement for a credential and then also utilized at the renewal process as well. Coaching supervision is much broader in focus. It can be about anything in your coaching profession. So whether you're struggling with a particular client, whether it's looking at how to kind of build your business, whether it's reflecting on maybe an ethical dilemma that you have, is much broader. And so it is utilized. You can use coaching supervision, up to 10 hours of it, towards your renewal at the ACC, PCC, and MCC level, but it does not take the place of the mentor coaching requirement.
Yeah. Thank you. Alicia is asking, how many hours of team coaching do you need to apply for ACTC?
Okay, so in general for the ACTC, you need to have had 5 engagements. We don't count the hours, we count how many times you've been engaged by a company to offer team coaching. We do have one pathway that is for those who have been team coaching for an extended period of time, because team coaching has been around for a long time. So in those cases, you're able to use your prior learning towards the education hours. So instead of 60 hours of education and team coaching, you can do 30 hours, but you will need to then demonstrate that you've had 10 engagements, of which at least 3 of those need to have been greater than 5 years. So we want to see that you have had that length of time as a team coach.
Okay, thank you. Kimberly is asking, what is the difference between the ACC exam and the credentialing exam?
Okay, so the difference at this time, and will kind of continue to be, is that the ACC exam is multiple choice only. So you are presented with a question that is knowledge-based, and then presented with, I believe it's 3, it might be 4, options, and only one of them is correct. And so it's very clear. For the ICF credentialing exam, it is currently made up of only situational judgment items. And in this case, you're presented with a scenario, a real life coaching type of scenario, and then you're offered 4 options of actions that the coach might take next. Of those 4 options, you have to select what is the best action that the coach could take, and then what is the worst action that the coach could take. So there is definitely a difference there. The pilot that we are going into for the credentialing exam is looking at kind of splitting that up. So still maintaining those situational judgment items, but reducing how many we have of those and adding in knowledge-based items as well.
Thank you. I have Seta. Seta, may I ask you to unmute yourself and ask your question? You
Sure.
have
Hi.
specific- Thank
I
you.
have my ACC, and so I want to apply. I'm getting ready to apply for my PCC, and I'm just not sure. Like, so I use 60 hours of coaching education to apply for my ACC. So does that, and when I go to apply for my PCC, am I going to go get is the expectation I have a whole nother set of 125 hours of education, or am I using 60 and then adding on top?
You're adding on top. So
Okay.
we look at each application fresh. We don't consider it on its own. So you just need to add in any of the education that you have received to reach 125 hours, even if you used it previously for a renewal or for your ACC.
And then the same thing for the education too?
That is the education. It's the 60 hours to 125, but same thing for the experience hours. Yes. So
Sorry, the same.
use
Yep.
your 100 hours and continue to build up on that. Mhm.
And then do I need another 10 hours of mentor coaching, or because I did that for the ACC?
Sure. So that's going to depend. So the requirement at the PCC level is that you've received mentor coaching with a PCC or MCC. So if that was the case for your ACC, you could still use those hours for your PCC. If for your ACC you mentored with an ACC at the time, then those hours won't count for your PCC. Keep in mind, the other thing with the mentor coaching is when you were mentored for your ACC, were you being mentored to the ACC level? You may want to consider getting maybe not another full round if you had been previously mentored by a PCC or MCC, but you may want to get another couple hours of mentor coaching just to ensure that you are coaching to the PCC level and that you feel confident going into that performance evaluation, that you're finding the right recording that demonstrates your coaching skills now to the PCC level.
Okay. Okay. And then how would I find out I guess I'd have to ask the mentor that I used the first time for ACC, what type of coach they were. Is that?
You can, yes, if you don't recall, definitely reach out to them and ask, what your credential level was, or you could reach out to support and say, I got my credential, or I got my mentor coaching for my ACC with so-and-so. Can you advise if they were an ACC or a PCC or MCC at that time? Give us the dates that you took it, and we'll be able to verify that for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
More questions in the chat. I have Elaine asking about renewal PCC. I'm not sure exactly what's the question, Elaine. Would you please elaborate on that if you can?
Yes, hello, thank you. Two questions regarding renewal. One is not actually written there, but are the hours that count for core competencies necessary to have been completed in the 3 years since PCC registration?
Yes, so this is continuing coach education. So we are looking that you receive those 40 CCEs as of when you were either last credentialed or last renewed, whichever one came last. So we are looking for continuing education. You can't use education that was done, to earn your PCC or done in your last renewal cycle.
Okay, thank you. And then of those 40, 24 need to be regarding core competencies.
Correct.
Thank you. And who is qualified to be a mentor for me to get some?
Yeah, so at this time, the only requirement for a mentor coach is that they hold a credential at or above the level to which you are applying or renewing, with the exception that at the ACC level, an ACC mentor needs to have renewed their ACC at least once before they can mentor others. So if you are currently a PCC, you can get mentoring from a PCC or an MCC.
Thank you so much. And are the videos that are provided on the resources for ICF, reviewing those videos, do they qualify as hours for my core competencies?
Yeah, it depends on which ones you're talking about. If you are talking about the ones that are in the learning portal, those have like a little checkpoint. It has something that we know for sure that you've completed it. And it will tell you how many were earned in core or in resource development. If you're just looking at videos online, so like let's say our video series on the ethics, and then like the video series that's coming on the core competencies, you can review those, but those will only count as resource development, just because there isn't a checkpoint for you to kind of be able to acknowledge that you learned something.
I understand. Thank you. And so the last question would then be, are there some other suggestions as to how to accumulate those hours, those 24 hours?
Yeah, there's, the things in core, like participating in, different chapter events and webinars, those will often have CCEs attached to them. If you are an ICF member, the greatest resource is that learning portal, and you've got 3 years, you can, watch those different communities of practice and see what they're offering. They also have things that were done in the past that you can, utilize,
Okay.
currently.
Yeah.
There are, coaches in general, tend to be really learning focused and always
Yes.
focused on. So we do have a page that's dedicated to the various professional development activities that you can participate in and what would be needed to document those. So definitely check out that page, which you can access through the renewal page under credentialing in our website menu bar to get a full comprehensive list of all the different activities that you could participate in.
Okay. Thank you, Eileen. This has been really useful.
Absolutely.
I would say if you're an ICF Toronto member, always consult our event calendar because we do provide CCEs events also for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Is there also the website, someone said ICF Global is really where you will find a lot of resources for continued education to complete your renewal. Is that correct?
Yes, the ICF Learning portal is found on our main website through your profile or through the various places on the website as well.
Okay, that's very helpful because just so if anybody else ran into this, I have different login for the global one and then the
Yes.
chapter one. So if anybody else has run into that as a confusion, that they are set up differently. So you do need two different credentials.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
your
you.
questions. This is amazing. I want to make sure I'm answering asking the question in the chat. I have Andrea. You might have answered this one, Aileen. I know you need 10 hours of mentor coaching to receive ACC, but do you need 10 hours every time to renew?
You do at the ACC level. So the ACC level, was kind of created as a stepping stone to the PCC, which is why that requirement is there, is to help you move on from the ACC to the PCC. However, we have long-term ACC coaches, and that is okay. But we do want to make sure that you are staying really in touch and in tune with the core competencies in particular. There's quite a few in particular at the ACC level that have earned their ACC, but they utilize those coaching skills in a lot of different ways, not just in pure coaching. So they may use it in their job, in HR, and talent and development, and things to that effect. And so this is a good opportunity for them to make sure that they are staying current with those core competency skills. So we do feel it's very important at that level.
Thank you. I have Dan is asking, do my CPCC CTI mentor coaching hours count toward ICF mentor coaching hours? I've done CPCC and it's a level 2 ACTC, ACTP, and the mentor coaching was embedded. So
Correct.
hopefully this answers your question, Dan. Terry's asked, yeah.
Well, let me offer a clarification, because if that was around renewing your ACC, then the answer to that would be no. So because again, the mentor coaching would need to take place after your ACC would have been awarded. So even though you had the mentor coaching as part of your original education program, which if it wasn't embedded, that you would have to do independently, that does not count towards the renewal. But
Great.
I think that might have been the question.
Yeah, great. Do we keep going? Yeah.
Go for it.
If one has an MCC and wants to renew it, does one need to be mentored again during the 3 years when the credential was renewed last? I think the renewal with the mentor coaching gets most of the attention here.
Yeah, that's all right. The requirement for mentor coaching is only at the ACC level. However, at the PCC and MCC level, if you do receive additional mentor coaching during that 3-year period, then yes, you can use up to 10 hours of it towards your renewal. In addition, you can use at all levels up to 10 hours of coaching supervision towards the core competencies as well requirement. So you can get 20 CCEs by participating in reflective practices, whether it's mentor coaching or coaching supervision. The other thing is at the ACC level, you need to receive the mentor coaching. At the PCC and MCC level, if you are a mentor and you deliver mentor coaching, the up to 10 hours of that can count. And likewise with supervision, it's giving up to 10 hours of giving or receiving the supervision.
Great. Another question on mentor coaching. What if I'm not finished with 10 hours of mentor coaching before my ACC expires? How do I proceed, Lorraine?
All right. You want to get it wrapped up. So mentor coaching does, even for a renewal, still need to be over a 3-month period of time or longer. The whole point of mentor coaching is you get that feedback, you have the opportunity to implement it, and you come back for more feedback. So it is over an extended period of time. We do have a 2-month grace period. So if you have another month that you need to, in order to complete your mentor coaching, you will still be fine. During that 2-month period, you are considered active, even though your expiration date will still read what your expiration date is. After that, so let's say you get a late start for your mentor coaching, or you're not able to coordinate and get it completed within the 3 months, and it's going to be after the grace period. You will still need to complete that mentor coaching, but starting November 3rd, you would then have the $100 US late fee that you would have to pay in order to reinstate. Currently, you would have to do additional CCEs in order to be able to submit if you go after the 2-month grace period.
Great, thank you. Dino is asking for clarification. If I completed a level 2 program for my ACC in order to get my PCC, I only need to get the additional 400 hours of coaching and completing the credentialing exam.
That is correct. So a level 2 ACTP program can be used for both your ACC and your PCC.
Great. And Monica is asking about the pilot exam. Does it mean that next year the credential exam will definitely change to the hybrid version, or it hasn't been decided yet?
That's why we're in a pilot. So we're very hopeful that, the version may change, but that's why we pilot things. We do our homework. That is what the pilot will let us know is it working? Are the questions valid? I believe they get feedback from the candidates as well as how the process went, and all of that will be taken into consideration. We will ensure through psychometrics and other researchy terms that the questions are performing well, and that's testing what it needs to test, and that it's fair, that these are questions that can be answered, and that we're not seeing that people are struggling with answering any particular question. It will have more questions and scenarios than what would be in a final version, because we know there are going to be some that won't perform well, and which means they will be eliminated from the scoring and won't continue forward.
Great questions. And Lisa is asking if someone participated in the pilot exam and passed, do you need to also write the credentialing exam to get the credential, or is this it?
Yeah, no, you don't. So this would be the exam if we would determine what the questions are that are usable, and that's what we would use then for the scoring. And then we would go back and score based off of those particular questions, everyone who participated in the pilot. If you passed, then you would receive your credential. With the pilot exam, this does take time. Like, we don't know which ones are performing well. So especially at the PCC and MCC level, we know you might be really motivated to want to get that credential, but there is going to be a time lapse if you are participating in the pilot exam. So we're anticipating right now that hopefully, I think it's in April, that we would have the results. So you won't know until April whether or not you passed or not. And then if you don't pass, you will receive a free retake, and you can take the credentialing exam from there.
Great, thank you. How many questions can we still take, Aileen? Shall we keep going?
I am fine. This is your time. You let me know.
Amazing. So Tracy is asking, what designation does the credentialing exam lead to?
The credentialing exam is for the PCC and MCC level. It must be taken at both levels. So if you apply for your PCC and then you come back later and you apply for your MCC, you will take the credentialing exam again.
Amazing. And Lori is asking, does getting certified in Hogan assessment count as continuing education in core competency?
It's going to depend. So some I do know have a little bit of core competency in it, but it's going to depend on your individual class that you went through. So if it was not, it was accredited by ICF, and there are, I believe, one or two that have been, then your certificate will tell you. If not, then you will have to take a look at, what was the information provided in your course syllabus, what did you cover, and you'll have to take a look and see, does it show that core competencies were covered? And if so, how much time was spent in those core competencies? And then you can submit it for core. You will need to submit supplemental documentation to show us, if it was not accredited, that core competencies were covered. Otherwise, you can count it all as resource.
Fiona wants some confirmation. If I'm on the ACC level 1, level 2 path, not the portfolio path, I don't need to submit any recordings to apply to ACC credential. Is that correct?
That is correct. So in a level 1 program, they are going to do a performance assessment to the ACC level. And in the level 2, they do a performance evaluation requirements to the PCC level. So you won't have to submit that as part of your application because it would have been taken care of in your education.
Yeah. And do educational programs have an expiry limit? For example, I began a program in 2017, completed in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Institution has both level 1 and 2. So
okay. So what we look at is what is the accreditation of the program at the time you completed it. So that's what we will be looking for. There is no expiration date or recency, so you can definitely start a program in 2017 and you've just been working your way through it. And if you graduated in 2024, then it's whatever the accreditation of the program was in 2024 that would count for determining which pathway that you need to take. In addition, education does not expire. So you took this and finished it in 2024. If life takes a turn and you're not able to submit an application to get a credential until another 10 years, that's okay. You'll be able to use that education.
great. Mark, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Sure, thank you. This has been great, by the way. Thanks for taking the time today.
Absolutely.
My question is, I finished a level 2 program and I have over 100 hours. So I submitted for the ACC. It said it could take up to a month. And I was just curious, given that the videos are already reviewed and whatnot, do you have a guesstimate how long it typically takes to hear back from a level 2 program?
Yeah, so typically right now at the ACTP or for the level 1, level 2 ACTP applications, it's about a 1 to 2 week review time. But we do have a slew of them that are coming in. One of the reasons we are consolidating now that we don't have the ACSTH accreditation program types anymore, that has definitely increased. And so it's a volume thing now, and managing assets to review it and keep up with all of it. But yeah, right now we are running closer to 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay, great. And one other quick question. Once that comes back approved,
We can't hear you, Mark.
Lost you.
We lost you.
Is there a certain date?
Oh, you're cutting out. Okay.
I'm going to guess at his question. So my guess is that he's asking, how soon do I have to take the exam? So once your application has been approved, you will be authorized to take the exam, and you will have a 60-day window to schedule and take the exam. However, if you are not able to take it within that 60 days, that's okay. Don't worry about it. After the 60 days, when you are in a position to start thinking about, I can get this scheduled and taken, go ahead and reach out to us again and say, hey, can I get my authorization refreshed? And we'll send you another 60-day window.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
That's great. Donna is asking, she's applying soon for ACC level 2. Is there an advantage or disadvantage of waiting until the changes happen in November?
For level 2, no. The only individuals who have taken ACSTH programs in the past, or have taken part of a level 2 program or part of a level ACTP program in the past, those would have qualified as ACSTH because they're accredited. We know what education you're getting. It's just those extra parts of mentor coaching and performance evaluation were either not done or not done fully. So we know how the education breaks down. But as that has gone down, those are now going to the portfolio pathway, and that is a $100 difference. So only those individuals are really being affected, and that's a small amount now.
Yeah, thank you. Question about the requirements to be a mentor coach.
Sure.
Yeah, that's it. What is it required?
Oh,
to become
so
a
the requirements, sorry. So the requirements are that you are at or above the level, credential level of whoever is being asking you to mentor. So that's the current requirements. There is not additional education that's needed or things to that effect. But we do now have the mentor coaching and coaching supervision competencies. So that might be something that down the future, will be looked at a little bit more closely. But right now, you just have to have a credential at or above the level to your mentee as far as what level they're applying for or renewing, with the exception at the ACC level. ACC mentors do need to renew their ACC at least once prior to offering mentoring to others.
I was under the impression that they need to complete the PCC markers minimum requirement as well. On the
No, it's not a requirement. It is extremely useful, though.
Yeah, great. Thank you for clarifying. Great question from Alicia. Is the pilot exam addressing concerns of neurodivergent applicants?
I think a little bit, because what we are looking at is that cognitive load with the situational judgment. So moving that from being all situational judgment and all of that reading and comprehension and cognitive load that needs to be taken in, and splitting it up into the knowledge-based and the situational judgment. I'm hoping we'll be able to support more candidates who were struggling with the situational judgment items. It is something that we are aware of, and we are looking at how we balance out, the needs of our applicants and how they learn and test, along with, making sure that we have a valid and fair exam that's testing what it needs to test in order to ensure that that credential has value and meaning to individuals who are looking for coaches. And so that's the balance that we have.
Great, thank you. I think we can fit in one or two questions for now. Jenna is asking, could you talk about when the test fits into the application process?
Yes, it's at the very end. So your entire application at this time needs to be reviewed in full. You need to have met all requirements. So that means passing, the performance evaluation, which is the one that takes the most amount of time because it does go out to actual assessors. We're waiting for them to get to, assess it and get back to us. And then it has to be processed and move forward. So it's at the end of the process.
Great. Lisa is asking, if you apply for the PCC, but only one of your recordings is accepted, can you then use the accepted recording to apply for ACC, or do you have to go through the ACC application process from the beginning?
We do have a kind of a process for that. And so what I would ask is if that is a situation that you end up falling into and you are interested in wanting to pursue for the ACC, to reach out to support, or with your letter, you can respond back and say, what are my options? And then we will go over that with you.
Yeah, Terry is asking about the 10 hours for mentor coaching when renewing. Yes, when you're renewing your ACC, you will need to top up with another 10-hour mentor coaching.
10 hours, of which 3 must be one-on-one. The remaining 7 can be done in group or one-on-one and over a 3-month period or longer.
Yeah. We still have plenty of questions here. You've been very generous with us. Do you want to take one more?
Sure.
Okay. Do educational programs have an expiry limit? I think we answered this question. Yeah, we did. What's the difference between level 1, level 2 programs?
So a level 1 program is in line with kind of the credentialing requirements at the ACC level. So it's offering mentoring and the performance evaluation specific to the ACC level. A level 2 program continues to build up and has the requirements for the mentor coaching to the PCC level and the performance evaluation requirements to the PCC level.
Yeah. I'm aware of the time, and you've been really generous with us, Aileen. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm gonna type in the chat the email for any burning question you have. support@coachingfederation.com.
Correct.
We'll be sharing with you the presentation with the useful links. You can always consult the credentialing webinar series because it's a great source for you to learn about credentialing. And I'll type in also my email should you have any question about credentialing as well. So thank you so much for joining us today and hope to see you in future events.
Thank you, Eileen. It was such a great time and so many questions you answered. And thanks for accepting our invitation. And Hiba, you did an amazing job. And thanks everyone for joining us. This was so lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk directly with people. It helps really to demystify the credentialing process. So thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.